Rolling along here on this edition of Cowboys OT. Kyle Yeoman's back with you following a 43-3 win for the Dallas Cowboys over the Atlanta Falcons. It's the first time the Cowboys have not allowed at least 10-point scoring for an opposing offense since the Cincinnati game in 2020 last season, and that was a 30-7 win. This one, a 40-point win for the Cowboys. And let's hear from Dan Quinn, exclusive audio after he beats his former team as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
Oh, I know you said that, it's not, you didn't want to get into talking about Falcons or whatever, but more than anything, you wanted to get this defense turned around. Can you just talk about how
Yeah, I think we just wanted to capture, our style and our identity. So when you don't have it, you really notice it. And so I thought, leaving the Minnesota game, our style was, attack how we like it. And so when we have one that you don't, it shows up. And so that's really what we challenge one another on. Let's make sure we capture our style and our attitude and how we play. And I thought the players, they did a fantastic job of that. It was definitely complimentary football, all the way through tonight.
Big setback, obviously, losing Randy. You've been playing without Tank. Now you lose Randy to the game. What were you guys able to do? Do you like the way Doran stepped up? Mike had moved around, bashed up all those guys?
Yeah, and that's the good news about when you have a deep roster. And, the guys here have done a good job. And so we trust the players, when their moment comes and they can deliver. And I think DA was a good example of that today, not just on defense, but on special teams as well. And so we've played, maybe 30, I think with Tristan now, probably 32 guys so far this season. So that's a big amount to play, but it pays dividends in moments like now where you've got the experience and you're ready to go. And don't get me wrong, we miss Randy and Tank like crazy, but it's important to know that we keep on rolling.
When Randy was a guy that you've been running him or all through the line, standing up, across the center, all that stuff, that's where Doran's got a sack today too. So, it was one of those things where he kind of filled that role, so to speak. Yeah,
some of the spots where we, utilize different guys, Micah and Randy and all of them. So, we miss them like crazy. And the good news is they're going to be back. And the other guys that are playing are gaining experience because to play at our best, we're going to need everybody. And so I thought it was a good job by guys stepping up and making plays today.
Cornerbacks are not supposed to have great hands. Your guys are off the turf, off their head, all three of your corners that made picks today were big-time plays on the ball. You can speak
I think, between Al and Joe and the corners and the safeties, they work extremely hard at ball drill. So we see it in practice. They're doing it before, they're doing it after. So we make it such a premium. But I think from the secondary and from Joe and Al, they really emphasize it. And you see it in practice. So it's good to see coming in from practice into the game.
Speaking of Atlanta, what are some things as a coordinator, that used to be your quarterback, your guys over there, what are some of the things that you could see on tape that maybe helped you?
Yeah, not as much as you think. You may know a style of a player, but they're new on all three phases. So you may know you may struggle with one thing, but that wasn't really the case here. They've got some really talented guys, and the way they're featuring players make it super challenging, with Pitts and Patterson and the way they can use guys in different spots. That always is challenging.
Now that it's over, how big was this personally for you to face those guys? A lot of guys over there, the equipment guys, and trainers and all that stuff. What did it mean?
Well, I'd say, there's a lot of people that I care about a lot. And so, good to have that game done and over with. But more than anything, when you, like any team that, there's a lot of friends that you have and you go battle and play. And so it's kind of the fun part of the NFL. There's always good rivalries in between coaches and players. But there's a lot of guys on that roster and in the building that I certainly care about a lot.
All right, one more. We said last week, that's not what this team is. We think they're different than that. Is this what this team is and what they can be?
You don't really get to until you get back in the environment. You can talk about it, but you got to be about it. And so you don't really get to show that, okay, it wasn't how we want to do, but when you got to get back in that moment to do that. And so we took a good step today, and we're going to continue to push to improve. And that's really, as you keep going on, you want to get better and better with your execution. I thought we took a step in that direction today.
And now you just got to get ready for Mahomes.
Yeah, well, we'll worry about that in a few hours.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Dan Quinn's defense was all about it in this one. 3 points allowed against Atlanta. And a couple moments after this, Dan Quinn went back into that locker room and actually got the game ball. Or maybe before this. I don't really know whenever that exchange happened. But he got the game ball from Mike McCarthy. The entire locker room went into hysterics. It was a great moment for Dan Quinn. But I think it's an even better moment because now you get a chance to build off of this. You've got a tough stretch. Kansas City, followed by Las Vegas, and then you've got New Orleans on the road. This is not going to get any easier for the Cowboys moving forward.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier for the Cowboys because, like you mentioned, you got Mahomes and that Kansas City team who's starting to rev up their engine a little bit offensively. Then you got Derek Carr and the Raiders out there. But hats goes off to this defensive team for this victory today. I mean, it just goes to show you how deep this team really is. I mean, you're minus Tank, you're minus Gregory out there. Then you got guys like Dorrance Armstrong, Terrell Basham stepping up. Odigizua did some damage out there today. So it just goes to show you how deep this defense is. And in the secondary, I got to give a shout out to Joe Witt and Al Harris as well, because they're making this secondary, they're ball hungry out there. I mean, they're taking pages out of Diggs' book. Brown got him one today. Jay Lou got him one as well. So the secondary is firing on all cylinders, and hats goes off to that defense. They had a heck of a game today.
I just like how Coach came at the beginning of the week, Coach Quinn and Coach McCarthy. They came out not playing around, and it's a standard that they want to set here, and they got back to that standard, you know, rotating guys in, knowing your job, doing what you're supposed to do, being held accountable to one another, and then when you play Atlanta, a team that you're supposed to beat, your coach get the game ball.
Yeah, it is.
He did get the game ball, and he loved it. I mean, he was all smiles in the locker room following it, and, I mean, for good reason. His defense giving up just 3 points and 3 interceptions as well for his defense, all coming in the second half. First time the Cowboys have had 3 picks as a team going all the way back to 2010. It's been a while since you've seen a game like that as well. When we come back, we hear from the tone setter, CeeDee Lamb, with more Cowboys OT. CeeDee Lamb with 2 touchdown receptions in the 43-3 win over Atlanta. He becomes just the 4th player in Cowboys history to have 10 receiving touchdowns in his first 25 career games. Let's hear from CeeDee Lamb after the win.
CeeDee, can you talk about how the team responded today coming out of that game last week?
I feel like we dominated today, played the way we know how to play. We preached, you know, just stay the course, stay, just handle your business, win your one individual matchup, and that we did today.
How much fun was it for you today? It looked like every time you made a play, you would just smile. Even when they tackled you, like you just had a ball.
That's me. That's me just about every time, every opportunity I get. You know, I'm grateful for each and every one. And today it was just, you know, it was fun. Come out with some energy. We came out firing early, and that we liked as a team, and that's ultimately the result we got.
You think your touchdown set the tone, and could you describe that play?
I feel like the tone was already set from the moment we walked in the building. I feel like together we came in with the right mindset, right game plan, and just came in and attacked the day. And me scoring early, it was, you know, a confidence booster, and I felt like we just took it.
The screen with McGovern out there with you, just talk about that and just decided him out there getting lined up.
Oh, it's easy running screens behind him. It's very easy. You know, him on the corner, obviously the corner wouldn't like to see that, but, you know, obviously it started off the game. Big play, you know, always exciting, and, you know, I congratulate him for the block, and it was huge.
Did this show that last week was sort of a fluke in your mind?
If that's the word you want to use for it, that's fine. But we definitely, we weren't ourselves last week, and it's understood.
CeeDee, how much better did you feel with your ankle about today as opposed to last week?
Say it one more
How
time.
much better did you feel physically with your ankle this week as opposed to last week?
A lot better. I was able to, you know, cut, kind of just move without thinking about anything, and ultimately everything would just fell into place, and everything worked out.
How much air did Dak put on that second one to you?
A lot. So I had enough to turn around and see the trajectory of the ball, and it was still in there. So I appreciate him for trusting me, and they ran cover 0, and I just had to win on my route. So
how quickly do you pick the ball up when you're coming out of your break to see where it's at?
Just gotta look in the air, no matter if I know it's coming to me or not. Just know any opportunity is mine, and I'm excited for it.
Before the game, you ran across the uniform police. Did you have a chance to talk about the fire?
I did. I did. I was just like, man, what's up? Like, what do I need to do? But no, it's all great vibes. Great dude. We came to an understanding, and hopefully we should not be seeing any more anytime soon.
But they getting confused because you got like a blue undershirt of some sort, and they see that, so they like, you shouldn't see that, or did you talk to them about that?
No, it was kind of just showing skin. They wasn't really much of a fan of it, so just having pretty much my whole body covered was what he was looking for. So, like I said, talking to him pregame kind of made it a lot easier for me to really understand what he's looking for, and we good.
Did you get your arm dinged on that free play, and then it kind of once the score got in hand, they said, okay, let's take you out?
Most def. It was like a Charlie horse in my arm that kept nagging. So, I guess, yeah, pretty much.
CeeDee, you played it up.
So CeeDee Lamb with another couple touchdown grabs in this one. He's the second player in Cowboys history with 3 multi-touchdown games in his first couple years as a part of the organization. The only other guy to do it was Bullet Bob Hayes, the Hall of Famer. He did it back in, it doesn't even have the year on it, but it's been quite some time since the Cowboys have seen a young receiver like this. What did he mean to this offense early on, and the way that he was able to respond and really set the tone for the Cowboys after a down week in Week 9?
He's a big play guy. Last week they targeted him 9 times. He caught 2 of them. Dak, they weren't on the same page, but this week they came out and they displayed him early. But he made a big 37-yard run there after a catch, and he made some big things happen. But I think Isaiah can explain that a little bit.
Oh, of course. He's a former wide receiver.
No, I think CeeDee approached this game on a mission. I think that he felt that they were going to play man-to-man coverage, and I think he was disrespected in that regard. Whenever you feel disrespected, you come out there as a competitor, you want to prove a point. And the point he wanted to prove is that I don't care who you guys put on me, they can't guard me. And you saw that exactly today. He just spoke on a cover 0 route, the cover 0 coverage when he ran the corner route. When he stepped into the line of scrimmage, he knew that ball was coming to him. He knew he needed to win that route. His team was dependent on him. He did that not only on that play, but a bunch of other plays today as well.
Now, there wasn't as much Amari Cooper, but Michael Gallup was back into the fold as well. How big was it getting him back that maybe opened up CeeDee Lamb a little bit?
It's huge. That's one of the biggest things about Gallup being a part of this trio is that he frees up other guys. Not only can he obviously run great routes and make obviously contested catches, he could take the top off the coverage, but he also opens things up because now there's another threat that you have to respect. He made some really good catches today that moved the chains. He also had a couple of drops. He'll get his legs underneath him. I'm sure he'll watch the film and want to go back and make sure that he shows up better next week, but he did help us win today.
That's the most impressive thing. When Michael Gallup comes out and makes those small catches, just to move the chains, that's when he's his most dangerous, man. And he came out, like you say, you got to get his legs up on him. Once he does that, man, he'll be ready to roll.
The Cowboys have had numerous fantastic receivers over the course of their organization's history. There's only one that in his first 25 career games has had 1,500 receiving yards and 10-plus receiving touchdowns. That's CeeDee Lamb, the first to do it in Cowboys franchise history. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we hear about some of the other big plays that were made, some by a couple young guys themselves. How about Nashawn Wright, Dorrance Armstrong on the punt block when we return? Special teams coordinator John Fossil is known for being aggressive, especially when coming after punts. Now, he's had a couple of successful tries at it this year. The Cowboys have gotten their hands on 3 different punts this season. This one finally resulting in a touchdown. Dorrance Armstrong got his hand on it. Nashawn Wright recovered it. Let's hear from both of them after the game.
All right. Well, first of all, tell us about, you knew this week was going to be a big week for you on defense with Randy being out. How excited were you to just get that opportunity?
I've always been ready, man, and I just had to step up. I was dealing with some things off the field that I just had to carry with me today, and he was with me on the field, and I played this game for him, so I was already prepared for it.
You played the game for Randy or for someone?
No, for someone else. It's something I was dealing with off the field.
Yeah. Talk about on defense, on the way, Randy plays that style where, you move him around, and that rush and that sack you had actually came, I think, from over the center. What was it like to kind of freelance like that?
I mean, guys, like you said, Randy can play everywhere. We got a whole D-line that can really do the same thing. So, it makes things harder for offenses when we got guys in different places doing different things. So that's a good thing that we can do that.
Did y'all play angry today?
For sure. We had to go get we got embarrassed last week, you feel me? So everybody was tuned in, know that we had a mission to accomplish.
Well, how locked in was Dan Quinn? It seems like he always is. But you guys knew this was his former team. Could you tell a little difference with him?
It was personal, you feel me? Like, we knew that Monday. So we just went out there and executed the game for him.
The double thud. It's always a good sound when there's a punt going on. Just talk us through the block punt.
Just gave a little dummy call, got him confused, and came free. That was my first one ever, so I was pretty excited, pretty surprised, but it felt good, man.
How many times do people get sacks and a block punt in a game? Probably rare. It shows versatility.
I don't know, man. I've never seen that statistic, so hopefully I can be the first one.
It shows your versatility,
yeah,
though,
for
right?
sure.
To be able to do that. You like playing special teams. You made some plays last year as well. You can talk about what it's like to kind of contribute on that side.
Man, just being on the field always helps, man. Teams look for that, coaches look for that, and if you can go out there and make plays on any teams, you're good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I sweated hard as hell, man. Yeah, for a better reason.
Walk us through this play and just see kind of what happened there. What did you see from your perspective?
Well, again, great play by DA, and I was able to see it get blocked. And this time, it was behind the line of scrimmage, going towards the end zone. AK jumped on it and it kind of squirted out from his arms, and I just jumped on it.
You were able to see where the goal line was, kind of get it as it's rolled in?
Oh, yeah, I made sure I got in the end zone.
What was last week like? Obviously, you've been talking a lot about the play, and were y'all talking about that in meetings and stuff like that, just kind of hammering home that point?
Yeah, kind of just making sure that I know exactly what I need to do. But like Coach Bones, he encouraged me to continue to try to make plays. So that way, like something like this today, I'm not afraid to go and try to make a play. So it was just great to be out there and be able to make that play today.
Was that your best play on special teams, or you had another one where you went through and ran about 60 yards and made the play down there?
I think that might be up there. It felt good to get in the end zone.
Yeah. When was the last time you scored?
Couldn't tell you.
Really?
High school, probably.
Really?
Oh no, junior college.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's get the guy.
Wow, so it's been since high school since Nashawn Wright's been in the end zone. Always feels good for a special teamer to find pay dirt. And back here with Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, you guys both played special teams, so you know just how important of a unit that is. It's the forgotten unit. Well, not so much forgotten today. They made a big-time play and what was an exclamation point on a fantastic first half.
Yeah, that's huge. And this special teams unit has been showing up all year long. I know there's a lot of controversy early on in terms of how much pressure they were adding. We had one big penalty early on in the year where they had a roughing penalty, but these guys have shown up. They've gotten their hands on 3 punt blocks this year, and this was one of them. It was an amazing play. It was a huge momentum swing. Great job by Dorrance Armstrong. Great job by Fossil loading up the personal protector so where he could not get the block on Armstrong, gets the hand in there, avoids him, gets the block, touchdown.
I mean, you love to see it. You love when that phase of the game, special teams comes alive like that. And they've been doing such a great job this entire season, whether it's covering down on kicks, on punts, or they're getting this offense in great position by returning. They've been doing a great job. So shouts out to Bones Fossil out there. Dorrance Armstrong did a heck of a job getting skinny through the gap, getting those paws on that ball, getting it back in such fitting for Wright to go and get the recovery, because he made that mistake last week, letting it go over his head and touching it, changing possession, all that jazz. He was able to come back and make a great play today. Hats goes off to that special teams unit.
It really seemed like that recovery was what was meant to be for Nahshon Wright. I mean, it seemed like there was no other person that needed to land on that football more. But is the special teams unit a direct comparison or a direct sign of just how good your depth is as a football program?
It's a direct correlation to it. I mean, absolutely. These guys have to be able to go out there and compete. Obviously, as most of the time, your special teams guys are your second tier, third tier guys. You have to be able to make an impact, and regardless of how they get you on the field, just show up and play.
Yeah, it goes to show you how deep this is, because it's not just one guy making plays on special teams. It's a litany of them. It's Dorrance Armstrong. It's Wright. It's C.J. Goodwin on one side. So you love to see it out there. This team is extremely deep, and we're going to need all these players to make a long run in the playoffs this year.
And there was a former core special teamer, Jordan Lewis, who had a fantastic day on defense today. We'll hear from him next after he had an interception and just a great day all around in the 43-3 win over Atlanta. Continuing on here on Cowboys OT, Jordan Lewis had an interception late in the win, but he had already made his mark by that point. A couple big-time plays, couple pass breakups, and 26 seemed like he was all over the field in this one. Here's what he had to say following the win.
Ball guy.
What's going on? How you doing?
Let's talk about the pick party you started.
I mean, Coach talked about, the energy we need to play with, and the standard that we need to play to. And I feel like we had that going on the first drive, and continued on to the rest of the game. So I mean, it was just playing up to the standard, honestly.
You had a sequence where you had 2 pass breakups, and then next possession get a big tackle. Your thoughts about what you were doing in that sequence there, especially after that first?
I mean, I just took it one play at a time, honestly, and understood that each play was a different sequence. So you just got to go like that, and just play the game like that in the moment. So I mean, that's what we did all game, and you saw the results.
Jordan, can you talk about the competitiveness and the camaraderie amongst the secondary group?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a group full of dogs. I mean, we love playing with each other. We love competing with each other. I mean, you can see from AB to Trayvon to all of us. I mean, we just competing, trying to, against ourselves, trying to get better and dominate.
The defense has gone through a lot of adversity this season with different players getting hurt, and then the next guy's stepping in, and the coordinator DQ matching up their skill set with the plays he's calling. Can you talk about the fact that it seems like you tack on the takeaways, and you guys have taken it to another level? Is the takeaways the key to your success on defense, or something else?
It's the standard. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, that's supposed to happen. We're supposed to take the ball away, fly around on defense, and play how we did today. I mean, that's what we got. That's what we plan to do in the beginning of the season. I mean, in the March, OTAs, we were just going out there and flying around and understanding that we was building something special. And I feel like we going that way.
After the game, there seemed to be a little chirping going on. Mr. Gage, and then what happened? What's going on with that?
I mean, it was just competitive. I remember what happened last year. I mean, coming off injury. I mean, it was just, it was my pride, honestly. And, I just go out there and understand that every play, he gonna get my best. And I mean, that's what it was.
Someone else was yelling at you as you were going through the tunnel. I think Roberts is waving the guy saying, get in there.
I mean, we had the game won. So, I mean, that's just me being a competitor, honestly.
Jordan, today everything went well offensively, defensively, special teams. Last week you guys had a block punt that you ended up not getting because of the way it was touched. Today it turns into a touchdown. How big of a play was that? I mean, you guys were already in a big lead, but right before halftime to get that.
I mean, it was huge. I mean, Coach Bones and Coach Hack, I mean, they're ultra aggressive. I mean, they, like I said, that's the way we play. And he won't back down, and he always going to call his shots. And you saw that today. I mean, it's gonna happen every week. And I mean, those guys are so amazing. I mean, we got guys on special team that do the job, you know, better than anybody, you know, in the league. So it's a good thing to see.
How big was that for Nashon?
That it was Nashon. That it was Nashon.
I mean, it's always we talk about our group. We want to be a special group. I mean, special teams. Whenever we're out there on the field, the DBs need to go out there and represent, you know, what we stand for. I mean, I was happy for him.
Yeah, especially after last week, though. I mean, he touched the ball not knowing that it would give the ball back to Denver.
I mean, like he just, like we say, stay in the moment. He stayed in the moment. He made the play. He wasn't worried about last week. He was just worried about making the play.
Like I said, it probably wasn't a big deal for Coach Quinn to beat Atlanta, but you guys playing for him, did it mean a lot for you guys to do that for him?
I mean, anytime you go out there and dominate like that, I mean, it feels good, especially the way DQ, you know, believes in us and, you know, he loves us. I mean, anytime you go out there and have a performance, I mean, it doesn't matter who we play. I mean, it feels good. You know, I'm happy for him, and, you know, I'm glad that he's our coordinator.
Because of what happened last week, you guys come out here and as it was already alluded to, offensively, defensively, special teams, you dominated this football game. What statement did you guys make as a team today?
This is what we do. This is our standard. I mean, this is how we play, and this is how we're supposed to play. No matter who's out there lined up, I mean, we're going to go out there and compete.
Thanks, guys.
What a day it was for Jordan Lewis and that entire Cowboys defense. How big was he? And, I mean, going into the game, it seemed like he was the one that had a lot of pressure on him because of Kyle Pitts, because of Russell Gage, and the matchups that he was faced with, and he definitely responded.
Yeah, he definitely responded out there. They tried him a couple of times with Patterson, with Pitts out there as well, and he was able to stand up to the challenge. He went out there, had 3 pass breakups. One of them happened to be an interception. And when a secondary as a whole goes out there and plays the way that they were able to tonight or today, I mean, the sky's the limit for this defense, especially when they get those pass rushers back. If they're able to lock down on the back end right there, it could be something special brewing over there on the defensive side of the ball.
We were all trying to figure out exactly what their approach was going to be to trying to figure out who was going to guard Patterson, who was going to guard Pitts. And then the last person I would have assumed would have had to guard Pitts would have been Jay Lou. He's not our biggest defensive back, but he did a great job. After that first quarter, Pitts had a couple catches there and got some yardage. After that, he downloaded that software and he knew exactly where Pitts was going to be. He stayed in his hip pocket and he became a pest. And that's the best thing that could have ever happened for this defense today was Jordan Lewis being on the field guarding Pitts.
Barry, you mentioned it in the opening segment. Without Randy Gregory, of course, no DeMarcus Lawrence still on that defensive line. You needed collective defensive guys to step up. Yes, the defensive linemen needed to step up to get pressure, but the coverage from Jordan Lewis today was a huge key in really setting the tone defensively early, and the Cowboys took that and ran with it as they went into a 36-3 lead by the time halftime had struck. When we come back, we'll tie a bow on this one. 43-3, the Cowboys win it over the Falcons with more Cowboys OT on the way.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by Geico, 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys needed to get back in the win column, and they did so in a very big way. 43-3, the final score over the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn gets his revenge. The Cowboys get their 7th win of the season, already surpassing the 2020 total here in Week 10 of the NFL season. One final time with Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, and Kyle Yeomans wrapping things up on Cowboys OT. What are your final thoughts, Isaiah, on the win?
Happy that these guys had this character game. They needed this. They needed today to remind themselves exactly who they are and who they're going to be going forward as they try to make a push towards the playoffs.
I agree 100%. This is coming into the Turkey Feast week, but so many days, and we got 3 games to do it. Great victory today.
Yeah, it was a great bounce-back game, great turnaround game for this team in all 3 phases, offensively, defensively, special teams as well. They all came to play and contributed to a win for this Dallas Cowboys team. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going forward against Kansas City next week. We'll see, but this was a great team victory overall.
One of the toughest stretches of the Cowboys schedule here in 2021. Of course, like you said, you've got 3 games in 11 days. In a couple of those games, Kansas City, Las Vegas on Thanksgiving, and then you go on the road to play New Orleans. Lots of fun still to be had this season. We had a lot of fun today. For Barry, for Nate, for Isaiah, I'm Kyle Yeomans saying so long. Thanks for joining us here on this week's edition of Cowboys OT.